Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's ELLIOTTWAVE Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a great week. The market continues to trend and continues to give us good trading opportunities. And we will be going through how we focused the market in the last week, how the market played out, and what we anticipate going into the new week or into the new trading session. Right, so that's what we're going to be doing for now. So before we get started, if you'd like to contact us, you can do so. Our contact details are on our YouTube channel under the description of all our videos. If you just click any of our videos under the description, you will find our contact details. That is the links to our social media pages. Let's start here. You've got a Telegram channel here. Where we post up charts before and after. Sometimes we post a trade setup, and you can also follow us on TradingView on that link. And our website is trading-waves.com, where you can find all information about our services, as well as our two links to the social media pages, that is Twitter as well as Facebook. All right, so our next course will be starting in April, date to be confirmed. If you'd like to be a part of the course, of the live course, you can purchase that course on our website, and you will have the recorded version available to you immediately to start watching before the live course starts in April. All right, not April, my apologies, in May. The course will start in May. All right, so we'll confirm the date. Right, so let's get started. We'll start with a recap of how we forecasted the market in the last week. Well, let's start with 2 weeks ago. There's this Euro JPY trade setup that we spoke about that continues to trend and has traded another 500 pips in just the last week alone. If you remember, last week we discussed how we got over 1,100 pips on Euro JPY from this analysis here. Last week we indicated how we wanted to buy this one here, rather sell it here. So we sold here for a couple of 100 pips to the downside, and that has played out. I showed you 4 links showing that that was the initial setup. And this is how we got the 600 pips to the downside. Okay, so forecasted from here, we've got it right down there for about 600 pips. And immediately after that, when we hit the target, we forecasted another move to the upside for a couple of 100 pips. You'll see, I'm still showing you what we showed last week, and I'm going to show you for this week as well. So that was the next one. So the next one was forecasting for our members that we're going to need to get another move to the upside. And this move up to this week has now traded over 1,025 pips from this point, from this area here, and this is how it played out. If you can just go to that. So this is last week. I showed you this last week, so I'm just giving you a perspective of what we looked at last week, and we're going to show you how it played out in this week. So this was last week. As you can see, last week it was on 753 pips, and we're still showing you that this was still going to continue to push to the upside, and that's what we anticipated in this week. So this week you'll see that the pair has continued to trade and has made up to 1,025 pips as follows. Let's go to this one where we focused for members, the move for this week. So let's go to that one. I want us to go specifically to this week. Let's come to this week. Right, this week, Euro Yen. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Euro Yen. Right, so here it is. So for in the last week, this is what we traded after we've discussed those moves. So our members got to, so this was the initial one. So this is what we were looking for. This has already played out. Let's see now. This is now traded 1,038 pips, and we're still anticipating, just like we indicated last week, we're still anticipating a continuation move to the upside up to around at the 135. So the move is not over yet, but you don't want to buy at these levels, especially after 1,000 238 pips. You need a decent entry area. So that is how it played out. So this is what we had. So just to give you a recap, we started with this move. So we started with this one, forecasting downside. We got 600 pips to the downside, and then we focused it from there that we're going to need to get to the upside. And we focused it the last week. We were on 753 pips. And then in the last week, we focused it again for members that it's going to continue to the upside, and that we are going to get to up to 1038. And now we're forecasting about another 150, 200 pips into the new week. So that was an amazing trade on Euro Yen. Very simple analysis there, right? So that's what we have. So let's look at the rest. All right. Okay, so let's go through the recaps of the rest of the week. So this is CAT Chief. Let's have a look at CAT Chief. So if you look at CAT Chief, just get this one right here. Just 1 second. Right, so this was the CAT Chief analysis here. So we're looking for CAT Chief to continue pushing to the upside so that we can get this move here, WXY. A simple WXY we were looking for on CAT Chief. So we were looking for this move around here. And this is now how CAT Chief has played out. So if you can look at that, this is how the chart has played out, how the pair has played out afterwards, and we got a couple of 100 pips to the upside here. As you can see, this was the forecast here around 72,600, about 74.50. That's about 200 pips on CAT Chief. All right, so let's go through the rest. Right, let's have a look at the DXY. Now the DXY, this was simply the forecast from the last week. Just saw it from the last week. So this is the DXY before. Let's look at the chart before. This was what was forecasted, and you'll see why we're forecasting a move to the upside here on the DXY. We're looking for this, and then we'll show you during the market analysis exactly why we wanted the DXY to continue pushing to the upside. So this was the chart before, and this is the chart after. So that was the move here on the DXY. We're looking for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So that's why we wanted to get this one to the upside on the DXY. Okay, so that's about 346 points on the DXY. And obviously, you'll have exactly the inverse on Euro US dollar as well. Last week we also discussed Euro Yen, rather US dollar Yen. So US dollar Yen, we wanted to see continuation to the upside, and we still wanted this one to just continue to the upside. And we've got a couple of 100 pips again to the upside on US dollar JPY. This was a simple setup. We just wanted to see continuation to the upside. So from when it started making this 1, 2 in the Y degree, 1, 2, we wanted to see this one push to the upside. Last week, I also showed you exactly why we're anticipating that US dollar Yen will continue pushing to the upside. So that was the chart, and that is how it played out. And the forecast was for this one. As you can see here, this is the 1, 2 here, and this is the move that we're anticipating to the upside to complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, has it completed, or are we still going to see move to the upside? You can see that we're not even done with the wave 3 here in the white degree. The white degree wave 3 is not even in place yet, so we're going to need to get a pullback and get a continuation to the upside. So the move to the upside on US dollar Yen is not complete as yet, so we're still anticipating more upside. Euro Yen is what I've just shown you earlier on. So it's 6 moves in the space of 2 weeks, giving us over 1,800 pips on Euro Yen. Now, the analysis on the Yen pairs have been quite straightforward. As you can see, they've all just been moving to the upside. So that means all the Yen pairs, whatever you get, you'll just be looking for upside here. So this is now Chief Yen. So Chief Yen, you would obviously expect the same thing. You would expect this one to just continue to the upside. Again, here we're starting with a move to the upside here. We're currently in the making of the wave 3. So wave 3 is continuing to push to the upside, building this wave 1, 2, and then we are looking for this one to continue to the upside. Now this wave one, you can see that starts with a diagonal. That's wave 1, 2 of the purple degree. I'm not going to go into that detail. I'm just going to show you why we anticipated that this is going to continue to the upside with the rest of the yen pairs. That is a chief yen. You'll see that is what we have there on chief yen, and that is how it played out. Another simple 422 pips. You can do the math as to how many pips we got there. So as I was indicating for you, this is 1, 2, and internally here we've got this lower degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, we don't even have the wave 3 in the white degree as yet. So until we get that, this is still continuing to the upside. Even if we do get a pullback, it means we're still getting upside on chief yen. Right, so that was chief yen, and lastly is EuroCAD. Let's have a look at EuroCAD. Simple, straightforward move here on EuroCAD. Let's have a look here. So EuroCAD, we're looking for this one to drop here like that to give us the start of the wave 3. So we just wanted this one to do that. And if you look at this and how it has played out, members have seen this before the move. So this is the chart after on EuroCAD. All right, so look at that. So that's what we had there, and then we drop easy 535 pips. So you can see easily in the last week or so we've done more than 5,000, 6,000 pips on all these pairs. So that was EuroCAD. Right, so that's all for this week. Or there's one more here on Audi CAD. Let's do Audi CAD, just a quick one on Audi CAD. Simple analysis here, focusing the reversal on the blue box. So if you can look here, we're looking for this one to reverse from the blue box. Let's see how it plays out. This was a simple and straightforward move here. We know that the blue box is a high probability reversal area or a reaction area. So we know when a move comes into the blue box, should definitely just give us a move. So this was a straightforward 220 pips, painless trade on Audi CAD. All right, so that was Audi CAD, and that's all for that's all what we've traded in the last week. Now let's get into the market analysis for this week. What do we anticipate the market to do in the next week? You'll have to look carefully, because we're going to start with the US dollar pairs now. If you look at the US dollar pairs, let's just 1 second here. If you look at the US dollar pairs, okay, we're forecasting downside, but long term maybe upside. But let's go through with the detail here. We're going to start with the DXY. You've seen the DXY during trade recaps, how we were forecasting the moves to the upside. Now, last week, if you remember on the DXY, we simply wanted to see continuation to the upside here. After it made a move like this, it could have dropped here and continued to the upside. Now, in the coming week on the DXY, it's simple. You're just anticipating a continuation to the upside. So if we're anticipating this move on the DXY, so that means the euro, the pound, Audi and New Zealand, we're anticipating a pullback here to the downside, but we'll get to those. So the DXY is showing us continuation to the upside. But why are we looking for a continuation to the upside on the DXY? I showed you this last week. I want you to see again why we're anticipating that and how we trade. So the DXY and the euro, I showed you this detail in the last week, exactly why we're anticipating that it will continue to the upside. So if you look at the daily chart on the DXY, this is simply why we are still anticipating the move to the upside on the DXY. It's not over yet. We've got this, let's show it in blue. We've got this one here showing us 1, 2. We're currently doing the 3, 4, and a 5 until we get to this blue 5 here. So currently, let's have a look at the lower degree structure. So the lower degree structure here should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the yellow degree. So let's go down to the 4 hour so you can see that yellow degree. Now, if you look at the 4 hour, you'll see that yellow degree, and that is why we are only just forecasting that we're going to get continuation to the upside. Now, if you look at that yellow degree, we are currently in the wave 5 of that yellow. This is wave 1, this is wave 2, 3, and 4. Now, the reason why we're focusing upside and how we got the 342 points in the last week is because we're looking at this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that will complete the 5 year on the DXY. See how straightforward this is? That's why we keep focusing upside. Now we are here. We're looking at this as wave 4. This is what I'm looking at in this week, for this to give us that last push to the upside. Could that be the end of the move to the upside on the DXY as well as the euro. Let's go to the euro now so we can see. So just to give you a live chart here, so I've already shown you the live chart on the DXY. We're anticipating this continuation to the upside to complete. This is that wave 4 in the red degree that you've seen on the chart. So we're looking for this one to continue to the upside this week. Okay, be careful when you trade that. It's approaching the end of the move. Now let's have a look at the euro as well. Let me show you the euro. So the euro is also it's obviously the inverse of the DXY. Last week, what did we show? We indicated that this will be the wave 4 in the yellow degree and looking for this one to continue to the downside, just like the DXY, to give us the 5 waves here. And we're currently here, and just like the DXY, we're anticipating that the euro will give us the 5th wave here in this yellow degree. Let's go to that chart that is detailed on the euro. Let's go to the daily. As you can see, why have we been looking for the euro to continue pushing to the downside? If you remember this point here, we're looking for the euro to continue to the downside. And let me just show you that point here. So that point has been this one. On the daily, it has been here. So even when the euro was here, we're still saying that this is going to drop. So we first focused on the move to the downside. When we were here, we said it's going to push to the upside, it's going to drop, and then it drops here, goes back here. But because we could see that the cycle was not done, we still said this one will continue to the downside. Now, if we go to the video around the 17th of January, anything from beginning of this year, you will see that at no point did we focus the reversal on the euro. We were simply saying downside. Even when we were here, we said it's going to push to the upside and it's going to come down. That's all that has been happening. And that is because of this sequence here on the 4-hour. Is we're looking at this red degree to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for this one to be a 5. Now, if you look at the wave 4 here, you will see that we would have the green degree, which will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're now looking for this 5. Okay, so I'm not going to go into more detail anything lower than this. I'm just going to show you that we are looking for downside here, and that's the reason why we're looking for downside on the euro and the DXY. Right, so pound US dollar. So just by virtue of the US dollar being strong in the next coming session, we'll be expecting pound yen to also drop from this after making this 3-wave structure, and this one giving us a corrective structure here, and then the drop. All right, so then that's what we're anticipating. Remember, just because you've got a 3-wave pullback here does not mean that that is a selling opportunity and you need to get in the trade. Here, you need to wait for a clear setup here for downside, because what could happen here is you could get a double correction, and that does not change the structure. If you get a double correction, it just means you've got a WXY structure here. So that's why you need a clear confirmation here, and that is we use this our special indicator to confirm whether this is going to drop or if it's going to give us a pullback. All right, so that is pound US dollar. We're still anticipating continuation to the downside. Now the US dollar has pushed down impulsively to the downside, so likely because of the strength in the US dollar that we're anticipating in the next week, we anticipate that the US dollar CAD may push down around this level and make a bounce. Okay, so that bounce will make this structure here. These structures looks pretty good as follows. Let me do it properly again. So this is let's have a look here. 1, 2, and a 3. Okay, so if we go down to the lower degree, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, and 1, 2, 3 down, giving us a WXY corrective structure here on this. Okay, will this be a running flat or will it be an expanding flat and reverse? So we'll see how this one plays out in the coming weeks, but we'll be anticipating a reversal with the rest of with the US dollar strength in the coming week. All right, US dollar chief last week. Let's have a look at what we discussed in the last week. So we're looking for this one to have made 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and 3 waves to the upside. But it looks like the 3 waves to the upside is incomplete. So we're still going to see this one make another move to the upside. So this could be a move here like this. So giving us a move like this. I'm not going to go into the detail of this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's why this may not be over as yet, and it will follow this ABC structure here. like we have A, B, C here. As you can see, all aligns. So it will not be surprising to see US dollar chief push to the upside, especially with the US dollar strength and the DXY anticipated to go to the upside in the next week. Right, so that's US dollar chief. Audi US dollar. Right, now you need to be mindful here that yes, we are anticipating that Audi US dollar, because of the US dollar strength, we may start seeing a pullback, but this is only short term. So even if you're anticipating downside short term on the Audi, long term, we're anticipating that this whole corrective structure here, let's put it on the weekly just so you can see. So we're anticipating that this whole corrective structure will start pushing to the upside. So this, let's have a look at it. We may get a pullback in the next coming session. So we've got this one looking like a 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's what we have on the US dollar, but there is a possibility for another structure, which I'll show you in a bit. So if this plays out like this, we're anticipating US dollar strength. So we anticipate that we're going to have a bit of a pullback here in the next coming session. But again, another structure that is likely to happen is we've got this here, you've got this one here, and you can have this one coming down for another 3 waves, the same way that this one has here, and we then push to the upside. But for now, we're looking at this structure here. Let's go to the weekly, and our focus is that we're going to start seeing a pullback at current levels on Audi. So we want to start seeing a pullback here, even if we're going to see more upside. Okay, so that is Audi US dollar. Looks very bullish for now, but short term, we'll be looking for this to pull back. Long term, we're looking up for upside. So just to show you what that means as far as the chart is concerned on Audi US dollar, what do I mean by short term down and long term up? This is what I want to show you here on our charts. So look at the daily. So the daily chart is showing us that we have that structure that I've indicated, the 3 waves to the downside, double before we push to the upside. Okay, so long term, we may still push to the downside. So this is the short term down that I was talking about here. We can get short term down before we push to the upside. Okay, we're currently here. We've pushed up to this level, and that is the level where we're saying that it can be a double. We are currently here. We can get this one being a double and then push to the upside. Okay, so let's see. We'll make a decision on how this one plays out in the coming week, but we're likely going to see this short-term down before we get that long-term upside on Audi US dollar. Okay, I want to show you New Zealand is exactly the same as well. Okay, so New Zealand also short-term down and then long-term upside. So New Zealand on the daily, or rather the weekly, where you can see the long-term view. So New Zealand, again, you'll see that it has made a clear 3-wave weekly structure, 1, 2, 3. We're currently here. Will it push to the upside just like that? I'm anticipating that we're likely going to see downside here, short-term down before we see the long-term upside on New Zealand, just like Audi US. So it's going to be interesting in the start of the week, because that's where we're going to need to make a decision. Okay, does this continue to push to the upside, or we start seeing a pullback from here? Right, let's have a look here, and the indicator will confirm that for us. Right, US dollar ZAR, let's go up to the daily as well. This one tracks the US dollar CAD. Could this be over? The move to the downside, since we're going to see some US dollar strength, we could be getting this, we could be getting this one to start pushing to the upside. A bit more down before we push to the upside on US dollar ZAR. Pound yen continues to push to the upside. The bigger structure is still in play. So we want to see this one here complete this one here. So it has broken the top the same way it has broken the low here. How far will this go? This should give us the last 5 waves here of this move, and it will still be an expanding flat as follows. So pound yen, no signs of a reversal yet. So let's see here how these 5 waves is going to play out. After that, then we anticipate the reversal. Okay, I will not be looking to buy pound yen at that level, but it is still bullish. We're still going to see continuation to the upside. US dollar yen, I showed you last week why we continue to buy. It's simply because of this bigger structure here. We're looking for this. Okay, I showed you this simply here. This is on the daily, and this is why we have been buying US dollar yen and getting those free trades, simple trades on US dollar yen. It's simply because of this, and I'm not even going to go through this, because in the lower degree, you're just going to see an impulsive move. When it's an impulse like this, you don't do anything. You don't come and buy this. You don't come and do anything here. You just wait for an opportunity when it pulls back. And at this point, you don't have a new trading opportunity other than what we have shown initially, and that has already gone. Okay, so we've been buying from around these levels. Okay, we've been buying from around these levels, anticipating that continuation pattern. Euro yen, I've shown you this in detail. We are still anticipating. Why were we buying this? Last week, I also showed you that we have got this structure just like Audi, not Audi yen. We've got this structure. Last week, I showed you this structure 1, 2, 3 here. Simple 3-wave structure, blue box area, pushes to the upside. That's why we forecasted this move here. From here, that was the 600 pips that I showed you, and that is the 1000 pips that I've shown you from at current levels. This could even push up to 140. Okay, but wait for a pullback, wait for an entry if it gives you an opportunity. Otherwise, if it doesn't, you are not going to you're not going to make money out of this, because once it starts correcting, if it starts correcting and you are in the trade, you don't know if it's going to correct up to a shallow or it's going to correct deep. And when it is doing this, you don't know whether it's going to make this structure. So that is why you need to get a clear entry point with a clear stop loss and a clear take profit level. So for now, for those that are in the trade, we just anticipate pullbacks and expect continuation to the upside and make the trade safe. Chief Yen, right? Chief Yen as well is making a impulsive move to the upside. We've shown this one last week as well. So just refer to last week's video as to why we're anticipating this one to continue to be bullish. So the move to the upside is not done. This will continue to push to the upside. All right, so that is a Chief Yen. Audi Yen, also just a parabolic move to the upside after making this 3-wave. So we showed this last week as well. So we've got this corrective structure. We're looking at this one to be a wave 1, 2. We're anticipating another 3 here on Chief Yen. Continuation to the upside. Any pullback, look to buy Audi Yen. Same as New Zealand. Straightforward on the yen pairs. There's no analysis when it's just an impulsive move like this. Okay, now this is New Zealand yen. This one looks like a 1, 2. We've got this one as a 3, and then we're looking for this one to be continuing to be a wave 5. Okay, so that's what we have there. So this one, you can even look at this one as a wave 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is your invalidation area. So if there's not been invalidated, look for this one to continue pushing to the upside on New Zealand yen. No new opportunities. That's why you can see I'm just running through this for now here. So we'll be looking for this to just continue to the upside. CAD yen, not different. As you can see, parabolic moves to the upside. No sign of a reversal. Initially, we were looking for this one to just break the top here and start the reversal, but it gave an opportunity for a continuation to the upside, making a parabolic move there. 3 up, 3 down. We're anticipating that this will be 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to make this an ABC. It is still valid if it reverses at current levels. Let's see if we're going to start getting any pullback in the coming week, but it does not look likely. There doesn't seem to be any signs of a move to the downside. Gold. Right, gold, this bigger structure on the daily. I've shown this one here, 1, 2, 3. I've shown you the detail last week of how we've been looking at this structure, 1, 2, 3 down. Now we started with the move to the downside. Will we see this continue to the downside to give us this 3-wave structure as well? 1, 2, 3. If we do not get this, this is a critical area. This is not confirmed as yet. If this continues to push to the upside, there's no difference. It just means that this is all the correction on gold, and this is the orthodox low for this move. And we've started with the move to the upside as 1, 2, and we're going to see a parabolic move to the upside. If gold breaks above this, we're going to see more upside, and we're going to see new highs on gold. So let's see here. The decider is going to be here, but with the US dollar strength, I anticipate this one to continue lower again in the coming week. Right, so let's just go into the lower degree. So this is where we are with this structure. It looks like a move down and pull back, but the indicator is not confirmed the downside is yet. So we cannot confirm for sure that that's going to make a move to the downside. We have to wait for a couple of more data on that. Silver, same as gold. Will silver, just like gold, give us this corrective structure and we start seeing a move to the downside like this? Or has it also ended this corrective structure here and we're going to start seeing upside in 5 waves like this? So we could be starting the move to the upside here in 5 waves, but that is silver. So we want to see here, just like gold, that confirmation is going to come in this area. And let's go to the 4-hour on that. So on that area, we want to see, is silver ready for a continuation to the upside, or silver will just give us a 3-wave structure and then a drop. So this is going to be the decider on silver as well as on gold. Platinum, however, has just been dropping after the pullbacks, after the forecast that we've been doing on platinum. Pullback in the week, drops, gives an opportunity, drops. We may see platinum bounce back to around this level for a continuation move to the downside. I showed you a trade setup on platinum last week where we forecasted this. This is going to drop. Initially, we focused that this was going to drop from here, but it's just continued to push to the upside. Even when we were here, we are still anticipating downside, and then we just made this move. Now we're looking for this one to continue lower. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is platinum, looking for continuation to the downside. Brent crude oil, what we thought was going to be a deeper pullback was only pretty much shallow. This is 3 waves. Can we get to see Brent crude coming to around this level? Back retesting the all-time highs here at 135. So let's see here on Brent crude oil if we're going to get there around and come back here. If we come back around that level, that's going to make this deeper corrective structure, and that will mean oil will continue to push to the upside. Right, so that is oil, and those are the commodities. The pound pairs, like especially pound Aussie and pound New Zealand, these are straightforward. I'm going to show you they're just continuing lower. Really, it's just an impulsive move to the upside. Since the forecast that this is going to give us a 3-wave structure, granted, this one we did not pinpoint, we did not get this one here because we expected it to push slightly higher before the drop. We wanted this to drop anyway, but it dropped earlier than what we anticipated. What we got, however, was a simple one with a blue box on pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand was straightforward. As you can see, it came into the blue box here and then started dropping. So this, expect continuation to the downside. Expect continuation to the downside every time you get opportunities for sell and you look for 4-hour setups to the downside. Don't buy or don't sell 1-hour setups here because we may start getting deeper pullbacks from around these levels. Pound CAD, similar to pound Aussie, has made this 3-wave structure and we continue to push lower. Any continuation, any pullback here, you still see pound CAD continue to the downside on the daily. And pound chief, same. So pound chief, I showed you the possibility of this structure here. Still in the making. We're still in the making of this. This looks like a corrective structure. We've made this pullback. This looks like a 3 waves. You can have this one pulling back. You can have this doing this. You can have this one coming back up here. But that's all just speculation for now. We just want to see this bigger structure build up. We just want to see pound chief build this corrective structure for a continuation move to the downside. As it is now, there's no confirmation of which structure it's going to be, but whatever it is going to be, it's going to be for a continuation to the downside. So we are monitoring this. The structure is still in the making. Euro pound. Okay, so Euro pound last week made this continuation pattern for more downside, 1, 2, 3. So we still anticipate that the same will happen in this week, and Euro pound will continue to drop in the next week. And even if you look at the 4-hour, we're going to see continuation to the downside. It looks like we've got a nice setup for downside here. Euro pound, 1, 2, 3. Look for it to continue lower. Right, that is the Euro pound, Euro Aussie. Continues to the downside, no changes. Okay, let's have a look at Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie 3-wave pullback. 1, 2, 3. Since that pullback, you can see there's not been any deeper correction. The deeper correction can start here with 3 waves and then continue to the downside. Euro New Zealand, the same. showing us continuation to the downside. Don't let this fool you, because at this point here, this looks like it's making a 5-wave structure, and at this point you can start getting a pullback before continuation to the downside. Now let's have a look at the indices. Sorry guys, I think we have missed some pairs. Some pairs that have not been recorded. I will have to check only there when the video is done, but I'm going to continue with the indices. If there's any pairs that are not recorded, we will post analysis in our social media pages for those that have not been captured. That's fine. So let's go to the indices, the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, we're currently here at this level here. We want to see this continuation to the upside. Is this a continuation to the upside on the S&P 500? Looks like it, but it may get deeper than what it has already done here. So let's have a look here in a bit more detail in the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, on the S&P 500, we may get this one making a double, or we can get this one pushing up higher like that. So we've got this 3-wave pullback. Could this be the start of the 5 waves to the upside, or will this give us a 3-wave pullback and we make a double here? We are currently at a critical level. We're going to make a decision in the next coming session. So at a critical level, at a 50% of this whole move. So let's see here. Are we dropping for a double, or we continue to the upside and this is all the correction? Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. If this is all a correction, that means that's all our 3-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, and we start seeing a move to the upside. That is not confirmed as yet. The Dow Jones Industrial, the same structure on the Dow Jones. Let me switch off here so you can see only the structure. So the Dow Jones has also made a 3-wave pullback. Now, is this the start of upside here with 1, 2, 3, or again, we're going to see another 3 waves to the downside to give us this double correction here? Even we can even have a structure like this. So this is going to be a decider on all the indices. We can even get a move. Even if we get downside here, we can get this one pulling back, and we can get this one giving us a double correction before continuation to the upside. Okay, so we'll be watching this in the next couple coming sessions. The Nasdaq has made 5 waves to the downside. So we anticipate that the Nasdaq can make a double correction here and give us another move to the downside like this. So the Nasdaq, is it going to give us a pullback? So eventually what we're looking for is a deeper corrective structure, or if not, that means we're going to start seeing upside here. This one does not look does not have the right look for it to just continue pushing to the upside, because this looks like 5 waves, and after 5 waves you should have a corrective structure and downside before pushing to the upside. So not clear at this stage. We're going to wait for a bit more data. What is clear, however, is the UK 100, after breaking out of that ending diagonal, it has gone and made a 3-wave pullback. So this was our ending diagonal here, broke down here in 3, came down around this level. We are now making an impulsive move. So any pullback here, you look for this to push to the upside. So where's that ending diagonal coming from? It's coming from this here. So let's switch this one off here. So that's the 5 waves that we're looking at here. We're looking at this one to be making 1, 2, 3, and this one is a 4, and we're looking for this one to now go for a 5. So any pullback here, we're looking for this to continue to the upside on the UK 100. The DAX is also giving us a continuation pattern here. We're looking for this one to give us a 4-hour setup. We don't have it as yet. We only have a 1-hour setup. 1-hour setups are not safe, so rather wait for 4-hour setups for more upside on the DAX. Nikkei, nothing new. We've been looking at this structure for a couple of months now. This is the structure and it is playing out. We've come down around this level. We're now pushing to the upside. Any pullback, you look for this one to continue pushing to the upside. We've got this as a WXY corrective structure. So we're looking for this one to now continue to the upside. Any continuation pattern for upside here we look for that opportunity on the Nikkei. And lastly, the Nifty, the same. So the Nifty has made a three-wave structure, but similar to the S&P 500 as well as the Dow Jones. Could this be making a double correction, or is that all the three waves that it requires for a move to the upside? So we'll be watching this in the next coming sessions. So there are a number of pairs that are at critical levels that requires a bit more data going into the new week, but we'll be watching those. Right, guys, so if you like what we do, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and hit that bell notification button so you get a notification the next time we upload a video. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.